I am the worst white mage of all time. What? No! Baby, I can fix you. Okay. So, if I had to make a list of what makes a white mage the worst white mage, I would start off with you might be the worst white mage ever if you can't stay alive. Our whole purpose is to keep other people from dying, which you can't do if you're dead. But honestly, if it helps, I don't think that's just a white mage thing. I think that makes you the worst on any class if you are perpetually floor tanking. But you can fix that. You just have to pay attention to the mechanics and make sure you're standing in the right positions. And it's going to take time and it's going to take practice. But if that's an issue for you, you really need to maybe learn those mechanics. It's not like I've ever floor tanked or anything.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
If I had to pick another thing that makes you the worst white mage, you might be the worst white mage if you suck at managing your resources. If you are constantly spamming super mana intensive heals like Medica 3 or Cure 3 to top people off from like basic damage, right? And listen, I get it. With great healing comes great anxiety. I've been there. I have been the worst white mage ever. But if you're constantly blowing your load, again, you won't be able to help people when they need it. You might be the worst white mage ever if you hoard all of your resources for that one magical moment that you apparently need all of them. Listen, I'm looking at the white mages that don't use benediction. Really, in the ones that hold it forever. Listen, if your tank is at 10% health and like unironically, like not on purpose, he really needs it. If you're at 20% health right before a huge AoE, you really need it. Use it. It will come back. I promise. It's meant to be used. But you might be the worst white mage ever if you're not using your kit to the fullest. So what I mean by this is if you aren't using your abilities to supplement your spells, instead of burning a ton of MP on Medica 3000, use an OGCD and drop that ass size and give everyone a heal while damaging the mobs. Which leads me to my next point, and this is a little bit of a controversial one. You might be a terrible white mage if you refuse to DPS. I know. And listen, before you crucify me or write 5 paragraphs in my comments about why I'm a garbage healer because I think you should do damage, hear me out. I'm not saying that you need to be out DPSing the DPS or the tanks. And I'm not saying to go get tunnel vision and let people die because you're chasing an FF log ranking. I'm just saying maybe toss out a Dia every now and then. Or use Holy when you're doing wall-to-wall pulls. Who knows? You might like it. You might like doing the damage. Alright, is there anything else that makes you the worst white mage? Oh my gosh, if we are in a 24-man or something, and you are refusing to do any raises, you're not just the worst white mage, you're the worst co-healer, man. I only have so many switch casts and thin airs, so please, for the love of all that is holy, do a raise. Cast it. Do it. It's our job to like guide these little baby sprouts. And I get it. You're in a 24-man and there's always that one person. You raise them, they die. You raise them, they die. You raise them, they die. And it's just this never-ending cycle, but everyone deserves the opportunity to learn the fight. Just try and picture yourself as this little baby sprout running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to keep up with all the people that have done this 40,000 times. You are bound to make mistakes. You are bound to end up on the ground. Just do the raise, all right? That's all I'm asking for. Okay, I think I'm done. I know I've missed a ton. I know that I'm going to wake up at like 3 a.m. and think of like 8 more that I could have added to this list. But anyways, if there's one that you can't believe I missed, put it in the comments down below. We'll have a mini stroke together. Yeah. Also, I just started a new YouTube channel where I'm starting to do videos on other games that I really love and talk about some of my travel adventures and trips that I'm planning and all that stuff. So if you want to get to know me more outside of Final Fantasy XIV and think you might be interested, check it out. I just recently played through this really fun farm sim horror game called We Harvest Shadows. There's a full playthrough video, or if you literally just want to watch me do all the jump scares, there's a way trimmed down version where you can see when my soul leaves my body. It happens about 5 times. Anyways, that's it for today, Eorzeans. Take care, and we'll see you next time.